The Apple ecosystem. We all know what it is, we all know that it's super successful, but not everyone knows why. And in today's video, I want to show you why. I want to explain you why the Apple ecosystem is so addicting, what are the best features, what are the best characteristics, and of course, what are the downsides of choosing Apple. So, if you're excited, I've been using the Apple ecosystem for the last 11 years, and this is my experience. Do not forget to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, let me talk about it. The ecosystem starts with an iPhone. This is the brain, this is the head of the ecosystem. This is where it all starts for most people. The iPhone is simply one of the best, not the best smartphones in the world. And this is the first entry point for most people's ecosystems. This is where you get your first experience with Apple products, at least for 95% of people in the world. And the iPhone was so good, so revolutionary, that most people stuck with it. And now, this is the best-selling smartphone in the world. Yes, the iPhone has been outselling every single smartphone in the world for a while now. And if you go for the top 10 best-selling smartphones in the world in 2024, or at least in 2023, the whole year, the iPhone 14, the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the iPhone 14 Pro, the iPhone 15, 15 Pro Max, and 15 Pro, those are all on top of the list. Even the iPhone 13 it is. So, super strange that the iPhone is one of the most expensive, but one of the best, not best-selling smartphone in the world. And there's an explanation. The Apple ecosystem. That's the ecosystem that Apple builds around the iPhone that gives you not just software features, but also hardware features and so many advantages that it makes very, very hard to leave the ecosystem. For about 2 weeks or 4 weeks out of the year, I like to review Android phones. I buy the Samsung S24 Ultra or S25 Ultra, whatever. I buy the Google Pixel, whatever, that it's equivalent to that year, and I review them. I reviewed the Google Pixel 8 Pro last year. This year I reviewed the Samsung S24 Ultra, and I always come out to the same conclusion. They are all amazing smartphones, but I cannot switch. I simply cannot leave the Apple ecosystem. And it starts for the iPhone. I cannot switch my iPhone for another phone, another Android phone, because my ecosystem would be broken. And that's one of the first downsides. You cannot leave simply Apple ecosystem. You have to sell everything. You have to switch everything. Because if you don't have an iPhone, then your Apple ecosystem, your whole Apple ecosystem is broken. If you decide to switch from the iPhone to the Samsung phone, everything breaks. The magic breaks. And not everything is all fun and games anymore. So that's probably the biggest downsides about the Apple ecosystem. But trust me, that's probably one of the only ones. Because if you do all the things right, if you buy all the Apple products, all the right ones, you don't need to buy the top tier Apple products. You simply need to buy the Apple products, it needs to be from Apple, then everything will work amazingly well. The iPhone SE, the cheap $300 iPhone, the Apple Watch SE, the cheap $200 Apple Watch, the MacBook Air M1 or the first generation MacBook Air from 2020. You can use it. The cheapest Apple ecosystem available. It will work super well. The issues won't be on the software side. It will be the hardware that will be a bit weaker, not as good. Nonetheless, all of them will work flawlessly. You have some bugs here and there, but that's normal for a very complex software system. But other than that, all iPhones, all Macs, all iPads, they experience the same level of ecosystem. There's no price barriers in terms of features for the software side. And that's something that is incredible. You can buy the top tier iPhone, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and you can decide not to buy the top tier Apple Watch. This is my Apple Watch Ultra, but you can decide to buy the Apple Watch SE. And then you can decide to buy the mid-tier MacBook Air with the 15-inch. And then you can decide to buy the base model iPad. And everything will work in conjunction, and everything will work perfectly well. You don't need to buy top tier, and then another top tier device, and then another top tier device. No, you can pick and choose which is your favorite and which are your priorities. Your phone, spend all the money on the iPhone, and then save the money on all of the other devices. That's the beauty of the Apple ecosystem. You have a budget and you can spend it on an ecosystem, a very plethora of products that you can decide, do I want to spend more here? Do I want to spend less here? That's the compromise you gotta make. Me, I chose the iPhone 15 Pro Max for my iPhone, the Apple Watch Ultra for my Apple Watch, so I maximized my budget on these two devices, and I have a 2021 MacBook Pro with the M1 Max chip. That was an investment for my channel, but in terms of the iPad, that's where I save my money, because my iPad is a 2018 iPad Pro from 6 years ago. I paid half and half with my father, so it was actually a present, so I saved a bit of money there. And yeah, the iPhone, expensive, it's a top tier device. The Apple Watch Ultra, it's 2 years old now, but at the time I bought it for $1,000. And the MacBook Pro, it was very, very expensive. But the MacBook Pro was in 2021, the Apple Watch was in 2022, and this iPhone was in 2023. So I do not buy it every single year, every single time. No, I bought one in 2021, one in 2022, and one in 2023. And all of them work flawlessly, very, very well. The biggest advantages between having an iPhone, having a Mac, having an iPad, all of these devices are standalone devices. These are not accessories. And this is another category that you need to define on the Apple ecosystem. You have the devices, like the iPhone, like the iPad, like the Mac. And then you have the accessories, like the Apple Watch, like the AirPods, and like every other single Apple product around these devices. It's important because you have the iPhone accessories, you have the standalone products. You should spend almost all of your budget on the standalone products to improve your experience. Then you should spend the extra cash that you have. So if you have more cash on the hand, then you spend it on the accessory side. Do not overspend on the accessories because you will only improve the experience in only one device. If you overspend on the iPhone, everything, for example, if you overspend on the Apple Watch and then on the AirPods, you won't have any money to buy an iPad and a Mac. And those two devices, they will improve very, very much your ecosystem. Or even buying a simple HomePod. That will also increase the quality of ecosystem very, very much. And if you don't have that budget, well, you're screwed. So you need to decide. You need to be strategic about your choices. You need to allocate your funds to the smartest choices. So yeah, mine were simple. Again, iPhone 15, Apple Watch Ultra, iPad Pro 2018, M1 Max MacBook Pro from 2021. I have the AirPods Max from 2020, and I have the AirPods Pro from 2023. So yeah, that's my whole Apple ecosystem in a shell. But that's so much more than that. And let's talk about the advantages of the Apple ecosystem. The biggest advantage of having an Apple ecosystem is surely end-off. And you are probably thinking, what is end-off? Well, end-off is the feature that you start working on any Apple device and you can continue it on another that has the same iCloud account. So if I start typing something on my iPhone on Safari, I can open up my Mac and there it is, the Safari window open for me to type on. And the iPad, the same thing, the Apple Watch, the same thing. Everything works in conjunction, everything works together. It's like they are all the same device floating in the ether and they are simply waiting for you to pick up another portal for Apple's ecosystem. Insane. Everything is like a different portal to the same Ethernet browser. It's so good. You can type notes, it works on notes, calendar, everything. Apple native apps, they work this way. And it's super, super cool. Another thing that is also amazing is AirDrop. AirDrop is a miracle that Apple has solved for a few years now, and it's indispensable for my work. I transfer files from my iPhone to my Mac every day, B-roll, shots, photography, everything. And then, on top of that, on top of all of this, there are the features that they unite your Apple products. For example, the Mac, you can have Sidecar with your iPad. This is a super cool feature that turns your Mac and your iPad into one device because you can control your iPad using your Mac keyboard and your Mac trackpad using, it's not a Sidecar, I think it's, I don't remember the feature. It is so cool. I will put it on the screen right here. You can control your Mac screen with your iPad. You can control your iPad screen with your Mac, with your keyboard and mouse. And you can use your iPad as a secondary display using Sidecar. So it turns your Apple devices in almost pieces of a puzzle. Because once you have all the pieces, it works so well and it looks very, very nice. Again, these are the best advantages in my opinion. Just the wireless features, the no thinking, very easy transfer of files, the way that they all interact and you don't actually think how it works. You don't have the troublesome of thinking how they need to work. They work every time, or at least 90% of the time, hassle-free, and that's why you have the Apple ecosystem. It simply works. That's the expression that everyone uses. Simply works. Another advantage of Apple's ecosystem is iCloud. iCloud is present on every single device. And it's so cool because you have all of your photos, all of your music, everything, all of your Apple services are in all Apple products. So you can find your music, your photos, your notes, your reminders everywhere on your Mac, on your iPhone, on your iPad. If you turn on a focused mode on your Apple Watch during a meeting because you forgot to turn it on the iPhone, on the Mac, and on the iPad. And these three devices, these three singular devices, they almost work as one. These are the main devices of the ecosystem and they work really, really well together. But if you want to improve your experience with these standalone devices from Apple ecosystem, the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac, you need to buy accessories. The most common are for the iPhone. There are so many. AirPods, Apple Watch, HomePod, AirTags, all of these are made and built to work with the iPhone, to make it as an iPhone accessory. And this is the second category of Apple product in terms of the ecosystem, the iPhone accessories. The iPhone accessories were made to clamp you down on the ecosystem. Yes, these are the biggest walls. You don't understand it at first, but it's not because you have a Mac and an iPad that you will have a Samsung phone. No, Apple understood this first, because there's so many people using a Mac and they have an Android phone. You can have workarounds to transfer files via AirDrop, all of those stuff. What really gets people stuck on the Apple ecosystem are the accessories for your iPhone. Because once you get rid of your iPhone, you will get rid of all of your Apple accessories. The magic simply disappears. Your AirPods, not magic anymore. Trust me, I've used them with the Samsung S24 Ultra. They are a simple pair of earpods. Then there's the Apple Watch. This thing right here, once you get rid of your iPhone, this is a wristwatch. It's dead weight. Does not work with any other device other than the iPhone. It needs the iPhone to survive, needs the iPhone to activate your Apple Watch Ultra. This thing right here, this is a complete iPhone dependent device. So you need to have an iPhone if you want to use an Apple Watch. So if you buy an Apple Watch, this is probably the biggest clamp for your Apple ecosystem in terms of the iPhone. It will get you stuck. Trust me, once you buy your Apple Watch, you will never go back from the iPhone. And then there's the AirPods again, like I told you, the AirTags. The simple use of the AirTags is super useful. They are more of a clamp for the whole ecosystem rather than the iPhone, but they are also an iPhone accessory that I really enjoy. You have the iPhone cases, you have the iPhone battery packs, you have everything that works so well with the iPhone in terms of software integration that you are stuck. You're thinking, if I get rid of the iPhone, all of these accessories, they are trash, they are dead weight. And that's where Apple gets you. That's where Apple gets you stuck. But if you accept that, then the experience is brilliant. Apple has made such an hassle-free, such an easy job to buy accessories, to set them up on the iPhone, and to use them as their own. It almost feels like an extension of the iPhone. The Apple Watch is so easy. Just take it off the box, you put the image of your phone, you scan the QR code on the Apple Watch, set it up. And if you have a backup from older Apple Watches, boom, all of your information is on the Apple Watch already. And then there's the AirPods. You buy it, open up the box, connected already to the iPhone. Insane. You choose the name that you want to give it, no more. No problems with connection, no problems with setting it up with Bluetooth, nothing. Just open up the box, it's the AirPods magic. And the AirTags, the same thing. You peel the plastic back tab on the back and it starts making a noise, boom, connected to the iPhone, just like the AirPods connects the same way. The AirPods Max, the same thing. It's insane. It's insane how Apple makes it easy for you to buy accessories for the iPhone and to set them up. And that's Apple's biggest advantage because it clamps you up to the ecosystem, makes you stuck, makes you forever an Apple user. And I'm not mad about it because my experience in the last 11 years has been great. My Mac, my iPad, my iPhone accessories, the Apple Watch, the AirPods, all of these devices that I bought for the ecosystem, all of them were worth the money, all of them worked pretty well, and all of them added something to the ecosystem experience that before I didn't have. I never regretted buying an Apple product, never. And that's something that sticks in your mind because when you are deciding, do I want to buy an iPad or do I want to save the money and buy a tablet from Samsung? I guess I will buy an iPad, I will spend the extra cash, I'll get a better device and I'll get a better experience with the Apple ecosystem and I will probably never regret it because I never do. So that's the biggest thing about the Apple ecosystem. It works so flawlessly. Every single feature from AirDrop to Handoff to iCloud to SharePlay. Oh my God, there are so many features now that I cannot even think about them anymore that I use every single day. That makes me stuck to the Apple ecosystem. I cannot leave because it will make me more inefficient, it will make me work harder to do the same tasks, and it will make life less enjoyable. I'm stuck with the Apple ecosystem for 11 years now, and I don't plan leaving. But let me know in the comments below what you think, what are your devices. Again, I will tell you again mine. This is the iPhone 15 Pro Max. I've had several iPhones. My first iPhone was the iPhone 4, then the iPhone 5S, then the iPhone 6S, then the iPhone 7, iPhone 8, iPhone 12 Pro. From the iPhone 12 Pro went to the 13 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, 14 Pro Max, and 14 Pro Max to the 15 Pro Max. So I've had several iPhones. I've had the Apple Watch Series 4. This is my second Apple Watch ever, the Apple Watch Ultra. I've had the iPad 10th or 9th generation, the normal iPad. And then I bought the 2018 iPad Pro in 2018. Yes, this was my iPad in 2018. Insane, 6 years old now. I have a video on that. Go check it out on my channel. And then I bought my first Mac in 2016, the MacBook Pro with the Butterfly keyboard, the worst MacBook ever, but still incredible with the ecosystem. And then in 2021, I shelled out $4,000 and bought the M1 Max MacBook Pro, the beast of a computer, the 16-inch version. So yes, that's my history with the Apple ecosystem. In terms of iPhone accessories, again, I had 2 Apple Watches and I had the first generation pair of AirPods, the second generation pair of AirPods Pro. No, I had the first generation pair of AirPods Pro, then the second generation of pair of AirPods Pro with USB-C, and the AirPods Max. So I've had tons of Apple products, tons of experience. Oh, and I forgot to mention that my family had an old iPad 3rd generation or 2nd generation when I was like 11 years old, 12 years old. And I think that was my first experience with any Apple product. And I loved it at that time. So yeah, it goes back for a long time. And I think that's where Apple gets you also. The experience that you get when you first use a first Apple product. After that, you are hooked and you will start spending money like crazy. 11 years, have spent thousands of dollars, but totally worth it. My experience has been great, and I can surely tell you that almost anyone that has an iPhone and any type of Apple ecosystem can attest. This is the best technology ecosystem out there. There's no one can rival it, not even Google, not even Samsung. So remember from this video, quantity is not quality. That's for you, Samsung. Thank you guys for watching. Drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments down below which is your favorite Apple product ever made. And of course, are you stuck on the Apple ecosystem? Have been in it for the last 11 years, and I cannot wait for the next 11. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.